I got here as quickly as I could. Are you all right, Niles? Of course not. I haven't been this panicked since I forgot my lines in our prep school production of Mice and Men. But you played a rabbit. It was a silent role. Exactly. I gave 3 monologues. Oh, yes, I do recall the audience's rapturous applause when Lenny finally squeezed the life out of you. Anyway, tell me what happened here. Maris and I were having an argument. Somehow she found out about my secret affection for Daphne and threatened to have her deported. I went into a blind rage. I grabbed the feather boa around Maris's neck and, well, you might say in tonight's production I played the role of Lenny. Cute, Niles. I can't wait to read the Washington Times review of this domestic homicide. Wait, do you hear that? It sounded more like a mouse getting run over by a bicycle. She's alive! Quick, help her up! Right! Frasier, no, you're stepping on her neck! Dear God, I thought that was a fold in the sheet! You've killed her! Well, you killed her first! Oh, what are we going to do? We have to call the police! Let's not be hasty, Niles. Is there anybody else in the house right now? No, we gave the staff the day off so we can have some privacy. We've been trying to spice things up in the boudoir. I see. In fact, for the first few moments of being strangled, she might not have realized anything was wrong. Niles, I'm going to be sick. Can we please focus on the dead body? What a gruesome sight. Yes, it's supposed to be. It's perfectly believable that she would hang herself with her own boa, a fragile end to a fragile woman. They'll see right through it. We're better off just confessing. Don't be a fool, Niles. If this got out, it would be the end of your career. I don't suppose you've considered how it would affect your career? I resent the implication. And I resent the off-center placement of my late wife. If she were any further to the right, she'd be campaigning in Florida. Stay focused, Niles. We need an alibi. Dad and Daphne know you called me in a panic. We could say you were writing a play, and you needed my help with the ending. I have always wanted to try my hand at a meaty 5-act play. Of course, to sell the alibi, you'll need to actually write the whole thing tonight. You know, 1-act plays are quite trendy right now. And the butler's betrayal can be foreshadowed during the banquet scene. Brilliant! We really should consider getting this produced. Yes, well, let's make sure we get away with the murder first. Frasier, did you invite a vagrant into your home? Of course not, Niles. You're saying he's not a vagrant? No, I'm saying I didn't invite him. I'll call security. There you boys are. I wanted you to meet an old buddy of mine, Lieutenant Columbo. Hey there, great to meet you both. You know, Dr. Crane, I heard what you said before. What? Yeah, on the radio. I caught your show on my way into town. Terrific stuff. Hello? Any chance I could get a tape from my wife? I think she'd get a real kick out of it, knowing I met a real-life radio star. It's for you, Lieutenant. Seattle Police. Thank you, Daphne. I hope you don't mind, Dr. Crane. I gave him your number in case they had to reach me. Frasier, I'm a little uncomfortable being in the same room as that bumbling policeman right now. Don't be silly. You're in the same room as Dad all the time. Sorry, Marty. I've gotta go. They want my help looking into a suicide. Oh, how terrible. Was it a recent suicide? Don't know yet. They said it could have happened weeks ago. But that's just based on how pale she looked. Dealing with the police has been just awful. Columbo keeps asking questions. He even wanted to read my play. Oh, did you finish it? Of course not. I ended up pilfering the plot to Filomeni Marturano. Let's just hope he's unfamiliar. Oh, speak of the devil. Remember your wife just died. Look sad. How's this? Too sad. Remember, you were married to Maris. Hey, Dr. Crane. Sorry again for your loss. Looks like I'll be hanging around a bit longer, now that it's a homicide investigation. Homicide? You think my Maris was murdered? Seems that way based on the autopsy. And here, look at this sheet we found. See that mark? Looks like the heel of a shoe. So? We found matching indent on Miss Crane.
under the feather boa. Somebody must have killed her and set it up to look self-inflicted.
Surely you don't think my brother had anything to do with it?
No, not at all, Dr. Crane. Dr. Crane has already been cleared as a suspect.
He has. I have.
Absolutely. The heel of your shoe was almost a match, but were too small. We're looking for someone with similar taste in fancy shoes, but bigger feet. You okay, Dr. Crane?
Oh, he's just grieving.
Well, I've bothered you enough. I'd better get back to work. Oh, just one more thing. Dr. Crane, you like Italian plays?
Sure, who doesn't?
You know, I grew up in an Italian home. Food, art, everything. When I read your play, I thought, hey, this is great. It feels very Italian. Kinda reminded me of Filomene Matrano. Anyway, that's all. Enjoy your coffee.
Frasier, I'm done for! Stop panicking, Niles! At most, all he's done is proven that you're a plagiarist. Exactly! I'll be ejected from the arts community! Alas, dear listeners, it's time for our break. Stay tuned for our second hour, where our topic will be paranoia, the lingering fear that someone is lurking behind you, ready to strike. Oh dear God. Why, Lieutenant Columbo, what brings you here?
Well, I was hoping to ask you something.
The name of my tailor?
Actually, it's about the case. There's a lot of loose ends I gotta tie up, and frankly, I'm stumped. You've got a terrific brain. You really know what makes people tick. I figured, if anyone could solve this, it's the great Dr. Frasier Crane.
I suppose I could take a crack at it. What's on your mind?
Hold on. Let me see here. There it is. It's about your brother's play.
Yes, I thought it was derivative as well.
Dr. Crane was writing a play at his office. Why were all the servants under the impression he'd spend the day at home with his wife?
Well, very few of Niles' staff speak fluent English. Perhaps there's a translation error.
You know what? I bet that's exactly what happened. Thanks for the help, Dr. Crane.
Farewell! Welcome back, Seattle. Roz, who's our next caller?
We've got a Columbo on line 1.
Hey, Dr. Crane, just one more thing.
I can't take it anymore, Frasier. He's at the opera, he's at the wine club, he even sat at my cigar addiction group. I thought it was a cigarette addiction group. It used to be. He's obviously smarter than he lets on. Maybe it's time to give up. Think, Niles. We won't be the only ones ruined. Dad will be branded a progenitor of killers. And without me to employ her, Daphne could end up living on the streets. No, and think of the good work we do as psychiatrists. Without us, Seattle could crumble into unenlightened chaos.
The words are deranged, but the way you say them makes me believe.
You forget the kind of pull I have in this city. Come on my radio show and squash any rumors of foul play. No jury would convict you, no matter what Columbo tells them.
Thank you, Frasier. I feel like celebrating.
I bet we'll win a CB award for this broadcast.
Perhaps a Pulitzer, which we'd humbly decline, of course.
Of course. Columbo, you wear my patience thin. Somehow you've gotten into your head that we are responsible for Maris's death, but this harassment will amount to nothing in the absence of evidence.
Gee, I didn't mean to upset you, Dr. Crane. Your friend Roz let me use this booth. Nice girl, that Roz. I told her I'd always dreamed of having my own radio show.
Oh, really? What would your show be about? How to make chili in 2 ingredients or less?
Nah, but I bet I could do a pretty good show about murder. Every murder's got a story behind it. You know what the key is to a good story?
Gravitas?
Character motivation. And that's what had me stumped. If Niles was gonna kill his wife for money, why not years ago? Why now? Why'd you do it, Doc?
So this is why you came here today, to speculate, to make false allegations?
No, Dr. Crane. I came here to make an arrest.
You're going to arrest us? On what basis? Stop that!
I'm not arresting both of you, just Niles.
Pardon?
You can't ask for one now. You're not even arrested yet.
Your motivation was a classic one, truly timeless, like a great Italian play. You fell in love with another woman. Honestly, it doesn't take a detective to figure out how you feel about her. But it does take one to prove it. Like the private eye Mrs. Crane hired to investigate your fidelity.
A detective? That's how Maris found out? How needlessly dramatic.
You're right, we should have guessed sooner.
For a while there, I really thought you were gonna get away with it. The feather boa, the alibi, truly genius. I can't wait to watch the documentaries they'll make about you.
Documentaries?
Sure. People will want to know about how that brilliant criminal mind of his works. The whole country will be talking about him. Dr. Niles Crane and the passion-fueled murder he nearly covered up.
Oh, please! He couldn't even cover up the wet bed at minstrel camp! He tried to hide the sheets in his loot cubby! You think this man-shaped vessel of anxiety could have done any of this by himself? You think he's strong enough to hang a body on his own? Even Maris's. His limbs are like angel-hair pasta! The fake suicide, the alibi, it was all me. Hell, it was even my big fat foot that finished her off. And I got away with it too.
Got away with it? I don't understand. Didn't you just confess?
Maybe to your uneducated mind it seems that way.
I went to Yale, and I'm not following either.
I'm sure you thought you could manipulate me, appeal to my ego, and get a confession, but the fact is, you still have no evidence, and it's your word against mine. The people of Seattle respect and idolize me. They'll never believe a word of a bumbling Los Angeles detective. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a show to do.
Dr. Crane, your show started 2 minutes ago.
I hope you're happy. Now everyone knows about minstrel camp.
Shut up, Niles.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling, tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Mercy. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're calling again. Scrambled eggs all over my face. What is a boy to do